Hey, what's up everyone, Morey Croson here, and today we're talking about backside versus frontside sprinting mechanics and what's going to be some of the key critical parts of both in order to really maximize your sprinting, and also give you a little bit more information of what are some key differences between elite level sprinters and novice sprinters when it comes to these mechanics. So as always, if you like the information, go ahead and click that thumbs up down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you have any questions, comments, recommendations, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. We're going to hop in the video right now. All right, so here on the right, we have Matthew Boling, and then we also have a novice sprinter on the left. We're going to be comparing these guys just to see a little bit of, some of the differences here. I will say before we hop into it, I want to give you a brief understanding of what is backside mechanics. So, and everybody might have a little bit of a different opinion here, but to me, backside mechanics is going to be the second that foot goes behind the hip, right? And so once we get to that level, now we're going to be in backside mechanics, and then frontside mechanics is going to be from the time the knee crosses the hip coming forward, right? So now everything here is going to be considered frontside mechanics when we're looking at it, all right? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the Matthew Boling race and really go into more so his backside mechanics. Now, just to give you guys a little bit more information about, these two, the big difference between elite level sprinters and novice sprinters is a lot of times the frontside mechanics and being able to utilize those correctly. But in my opinion, the reason why you don't have great frontside mechanics is because of poor utilization of the backside mechanics. And just really your posterior chain, and that's why it's so important to have the hamstring strength, the glute strength, the ankle range of motion, and the lower back range of motion. So I'll go into that real quick here. So you can see, we're going into the backside mechanics, and Matthew Boling just does such a great job of achieving a lot of extension through the lower back, through the hip. Gets that knee back behind the hip very effectively and gets that heel in a very, very vertical position, which is critical in being able to run fast. And the reason is because you really want to be able to push your body in more of a vertical direction as it's leaving the ground. The key part about sprinting is being able to create vertical force off the ground and then horizontal force when you come back and touch the ground. And again, this is going to be one of the key differences between novice sprinters and elite level sprinters. So real quick, with the lower back, I think this is important to note, just because I know there's a lot of people that are doing, squats and heavy squats and things like that. And I would just say be careful with that, just because you get yourself in more of a flexed position in the lower back. And then you're also lifting a lot of weight, so you end up losing a little bit of extension there. And, I'm somebody that does squats, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to knock squats and don't think that those are going to help you get faster. It does help you get faster, but it's going to be at, every once in a while. You don't want to be doing this 2-3 times a week. You want to make it so it's something, maybe once a week that you're doing in order to build that lower body strength, but you don't want to allow it to limit your lower back extension capabilities. All right. Another big thing is going to be making sure you have plenty of range of motion within the ankle to make sure that when you're pushing off the ground, you're creating that vertical force to then be able to immediately drive that knee back forward. So if you don't have the right range of motion within the toe, within the feet, what happens is that foot gets stuck back behind you and you're not able to actually drive that knee through. He does a great job of as soon as his foot leaves the ground, he's driving that knee forward and through, which allows him to have excellent frontside mechanics. And that's why I'm using him as the example, because I think, he has some of the best frontside mechanics in sprinting today, and I think it's going to only get better. So you can see he gets into that position, knee is all the way up to his hip, and he's able to get his foot way out in front of that knee, so now he's able to pull his foot back underneath him, and that's that horizontal force, right? And this is going to be the key difference between elite level sprinters and novice sprinters. So now if we look here on the left, we'll see the same, so similar kind of position with the heel, similar position with the knee and the hip, even similar position with the lower back. You might say that he can maybe get a little bit more drive with the elbow, but big thing is that even though he's in a similar position, he's not really getting great vertical force off the ground. So now as he's kind of driving forward and through, he gets that knee up to a similar height, he gets that foot into the position that's right about even with the knee, reaches out, but doesn't have the ability to create as much pull underneath him, right? So now, when his foot touches the ground, he's a little bit more out in front of his body with that foot, instead of being, right directly underneath him. So now when his foot touches the ground, he's going to spend a little bit longer with his foot on the ground, right? So you can see how his foot kind of absorbs, or his weight has to kind of absorb into that leg and then push back off, where you can see Matthew Boling is able to hit the ground and then push right back off immediately, and has that extra range in the foot to be able to do that very, very effectively, and also has the ability to get more vertical push, right? And that's, the novice sprinter here is not bad with his frontside mechanics, but he's just not as forceful in creating horizontal force downwards, and because he doesn't create as much of that horizontal force down, now he doesn't create as much of a rebound and vertical force back up. So in order to really master your sprinting mechanics and get a great ability to run faster, a lot of it has to do with how well are you optimizing your body's pull down. You can see how straight he's able to get that leg out in front, right? You can see slight difference there in terms of, the position of the legs. And that ends up being a key part here, right? So he's pulling down hard there, and has a lot of strength in that upper hamstring in order to do so, and really, again, be able to create that extreme horizontal force, and then has the strength within the ankles to be able to control, stabilize that, and then push right back up vertically and be able to continue that cycle for a long period of time. I think that's also something that is very, very, not talked about enough, is the actual physical capability of achieving this level of control of the body and maximization of force production, strength, range of motion, and how taxing that is, right? So you have to be in an amazing shape in order to actually accomplish this for a long period of time. So you might be able to do it for 3-4 steps, right? And if you can do it for 3-4 steps, you might be able to get yourself into 21, 22 miles an hour. I know, because I've been able to do that as well. But now what I struggle with is being able to hold that for a long period of time, right? Because now once you get up to that, degree of, again, strength, power, technique, force production, it becomes very, very taxing on the body to be able to achieve that for, 20 steps, let's say. And these guys are probably doing it closer to 30, when he's running 200 meters, he's doing it for over 40 steps. And so, again, you want to just be able to understand what are some of the physical demands. I want you to understand the biomechanics of it, but then I also want to get you guys to have a realistic understanding of, just how much hard work's going to actually go in there in order to actually, get the response and the improvements that you're looking to see within your your times, your sprint times, things like that. So as always, guys, thanks for watching the videos here. Would love to be able to help you out with your sprinting mechanics. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me down below. I'd highly recommend you checking out some of our programs. We have one program. The first one down below is going to be a speed breakdown, but you get unlimited breakdowns for a month. You also get 4 weeks of training. I think it's the best thing that we have available right now. I would highly suggest you recommend, or you invest into yourself. $97. That's all it is. If you can't invest $97 into yourself, then I don't know if sprinting is going to be your thing. So or just believing in yourself, right? I mean, you got to believe in yourself one day. And I would just say, if you're not investing it all into yourself, at least get somebody to be able to teach you a little bit about what you're doing in your mechanics, and it will end up going a long way for you, whether that's the 40, the 60, the 100, whatever the case may be. I want to be able to help you out. And, I think the first step is being able to really understand and compartmentalize that backside and frontside mechanics, and how you could utilize that in order to really effectively train yourself to maximize your speed. So again, as always, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.